So hopefully you can hear me this time. I had issues with the microphone before. For some reason it wouldn't unmute, but we're going to hopefully this has sorted it. So we're going to be applying the version 2 livery onto this lovely Maserati Gran Turismo. As you see, it's white at the moment, which is going to be the actual base colour of the car, but this could be any sort of grayscale if you like. You just need to modify the actual decals to match. So go to Create a Design. Now with this, even though it is white, I always like to sort of do a base decal cover. So I get the decal nice and get the white square and just wrap it over the entire car. You can see it's slightly changing colour. It just makes it easier to edit. I'm going to put the depth onto 10 to make sure it's wrapped around the back nice and getting all the little nooks and crannies. That's fine. Duplicate opposite side. Great. So that's all. You know, you can't really see the difference in the bonnet, but trust me, it helps. It works. I'll do the same for the bonnet as well, just to make sure that it's all the same. Not that you can see exactly what I'm doing, but still, it'll all make sense shortly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a square on the back, nice and simple, and colour that in a nice dark grey, like this, or dark grey, black. It doesn't really matter. We'll go with the, I don't know. We'll go with the black. It stands out better. Move that to the rear. Make that wrap it around the rear of the car. You usually try and aim it towards the rear window. And for this, I'm going to go align with camera, not align with surface. Get a nice crisp edge. So as you can see, I'm just lining it up there with the rear chrome there of that rear window. See? Okay. Place that there, and then with the limit depth, I'm going to put that to 10, so it wraps it all over the back of the car. So you can see there that it hasn't gone over that bit. See the little sort of wavy bit there, and if you look on the other side, it's still white. Okay, so if we go finish, actually we need to go to duplicate or reverse, don't we? So again, you can see it's not quite over. This is the attention to detail thing, and over the boot there you've got a little bit of white there in the corner. So we go duplicate opposite side, and once we've done that, it is all completely black. All the little nooks and crannies are now all the same colour. Makes it nice and simple, and also saves on the layers itself. So I'm also going to make this, make sure it's all back so you can see it. I'm going to put the same sort of thing on the front. Do that all the way around there. But I'm also going to change its colour to, this is the bit where you've got a bit of free range. You can basically make it whatever colour you want. I usually go for a nice teal colour. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I quite like it, so it's off. Yeah, we'll go with the 50. Okay, and then when we position this, we want to position this just so it's just touching actually the rear part of the wheel arch there. So you've got a little bit of colour there at the bottom. That's sort of perfect. Okay, because I've duplicated it from the back, the depth is already adjusted. So as you see, it's already wrapped most of the way around the front. We do have a little bit of bleed in there of the white going along the edge of the bonnet there. You can see the jagged edge, but we'll sort that out shortly. And again, with the air vents down the bottom here, you still got white bits from this side. Okay, so again, duplicate symmetrically, and then once you zoom in again, you can see that this is all a nice uniform colour now. And there's no white bleeding there at all. There's still a little bit on the bonnet there, I think. Oh no, that sorted itself out. Great, that saves me a job later. Okay, finish that. Then to add layer again, we want to make it nice and square actually. There we go. And then we want to go into shape 2 and put the fade on. Now this is a lot easier once you've done it a few times and a lot quicker as well. So make sure the colour is the same, and then you just want to wrap it up so it covers the A pillar there, and also blends into the front decal there. So you can see if you move it around the gap there, you want to just line up just so that white line disappears. Okay, duplicate on the other side, great, and then we want to do exactly the same thing again with the back. So again, we just get this, make it black, rotate it 180 degrees, and then just line it up that side there. See, there's a little bit of a line there at the top. Move it over a little bit more just so that disappears. Okay, great. Okay, now you can see the livery's already starting to come together quite nicely with the nice double fade to it. So you now want to go into your saved collection. I've saved this into the Discord thing, I think. All the way down the bottom here should be the triangles, the abstract triangles. Already know. So we want to move this. It looks a little bit like a nuclear sign, to be honest, but it makes sense when you adjust it. You want to make this so just so it moves over. You want to wrap this in a certain way that it fades over the triangles, and the triangles go over the fade at the back. But we'll adjust that now. So make this really as large as you like. Just I usually put it to about here. Okay. But on these, before you duplicate and reverse, there's a little trick I need to show you where you can change the opacity, make it as make it as clear or as transparent as you like. So when you go onto this option here, you press the triangle, you've got extra options. See, the opacity is there. So you turn this down all the way to 0, it disappears. So on 60% is what I'm looking at. I had on 75 before. Let's try it on 75. 75 is alright. Let's try stick on 70%, I think. Okay. Okay on that. And then you can duplicate symmetrically this time, not on reverse. Symmetrically, and then it's all the same. Okay. Then move this layer now underneath the fade, or underneath the colour at the front. See how that changes? Show you again on the side. So it's at the front there. Go down to move, move this down, see how it will change colour. Okay, so the fade now is going over the triangle, see? Again, duplicate layer, but then you want to move this layer all the way to the top over the black. Okay, so it's back over there, and then when you move it then, it's going to go over the top like this, see? Rotate this now. If you put this against there, you see there's a massive gap there in the middle. That looks a bit ugly, to be perfectly honest. So there's a couple of ways we can do this. We can put it so it is like this, so you can see the triangles at the back, but it just doesn't look quite right for me. So I rotate it, and then I basically put that triangle there on the bottom left corner into that gap. So you've still got a nice clean, crisp edge at the back, but you've got the flowing triangles going through the middle and over the black. See, so move it in so you can see where I'm moving it here. So make sure the two triangles there of the two decals just touch like that. Okay. Again, duplicate symmetrically, and that's essentially it. You just add your logos now, and away you go. You can create your own little number board through. That's the side of it done anyway. Creating a little number board through the shapes in the game. I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how to do that now actually. If you want nice and easy is you go to left side, right side, doesn't really matter. Go to, not my items, come on, give it yourself. Preset shape number 1, and you can pick any one of these really. I usually go for the rounded square. Reduce this down to a respectable size. You make that black. Duplicate that layer. Make that layer then white. And as you zoom in, you get a little bit smaller, and then you've got your outline there, see? And you can just add the number in. If you have a touring card, it would be in the rear window, but as this is a GT, it doesn't have one. What it does, it's just too small. So you can place that there. And then you can add the actual sponsor or server name or whatever you want to do, put it there. So we can put that there. Just nice. And as you zoom out, see, it just works. So for the bonnet then, we're going to go for a sort of a blue, black sort of fade. Now, with this here, for me that's not faded right. It's a bit of OCD thing on me, but from a distance it looks okay. It doesn't fade as well at the back than it does at the front. So if we made this, just so you can see the thing, if we made this the grey, like the second one in there, it might work a bit better. Change up to grey, change the black fade to grey. It's up to you which way around you want to do it, but I think it fades better now through the triangles than it did with the black. Well, again, personal preference, it's up to you, work with it. So on the front, nice and easy. So you've got the white one already there. So you want to change this to the grey or black you have on the back. Okay? And add your square again, which will be the same colour as you have on the wings. Move this to the side. I usually use a bonnet pin as a reference again, align with camera. Fill the bonnet. I use them for the bonnet pins as a reference down the middle of the bonnet pin there. Great, okay. Duplicate that on reverse or symmetrically, it doesn't really matter. Now this is what I was saying before, because what you've got here is, you've got all nice and sort of nice crisp line there. But when you get up here, and you see where it's starting to bleed. So we can address this shortly. So again, on the body, zoom back out so you can see. Go to shape 2 again, and this is where you can add your fade into the front. Make sure that is the same colour as the ones on the wings. Make sure that matches up. You want to make it quite narrow really, and then just extend it all the way up. A little bit of a gap at the bottom. So again, align with camera, and that gap's gone. Okay, now for me, that's a little narrow. I want the fade. I want the grey in the middle to be a bit bigger. So delete that one. Get this side, and then just move it to say the edge of the headlight there. See? We'll duplicate that and move that to match up. Again, duplicate that. Okay, now that one's a little bit better for me. Go back to the body, onto the front, and then same process. Get your square, put it all the way down. I mean, it doesn't have to go all the way to the bottom. You can use the grill as a divider if you like, which I might do this time. Make that as wide there so it doesn't quite. See, if you go too far, it's going to come on the other side, and it just won't look right. Put that there, make that grey. Okay, and get your shape 2 fade colour, fade shape again. Match the colour up. I know I'm doing this really quick, but I've done it several times on my own. So, and this then, see how the fade just matches up. Just adjust it a little bit so it matches up. Duplicate symmetrically, remember, not on opposite side, because you'll have to rotate the decal. And see how the stripe's there now, but it's faded all the way from the bumper all the way up the bonnet. Okay, right, so to address this little issue here, alright, best way to do this is go to, again, onto the left or right, it doesn't really matter. But before you add the decal, you want to zoom right in and make sure that your little crosshair there is on the area you want it to be, okay, or near to. Again, shape number 1, put that there. If you want to align with camera as well, it makes it a little bit easier, because it doesn't try and go around the curve of the car, it just basically put a sticker on your car. Change the colours how you want it to be, and then just adjust the decal, so see how it's just covering that edge there. It's a bit more complicated with this one, because you might have to put the fade up there as well. that's not such a major issue. Okay, so that piece there is hiding that little bit there, see? This is where the layers can be a bit of a pain, to be honest. Let's try the fade on. Colour that. This can be difficult, but it can also be very easy to do. You just stretching that out, and it's just not, for me, that's driving me nuts, because that's still not perfect. See, that just needs some users there to match up. Let's just try something else. I'll move that. No, I don't move it down the one. You can see how it just disappears. How the actual, but you want the fade to still be there. To be honest, with the actual triangles and stuff, if you did it on a slight angle like that with the fade, it kind of still works. So I'm not gonna be that bothered about that. Again, body 2, go to add layer, readjust your position there. This is just me being a perfectionist. I mean, if you want to leave it as it is, leave it as it is, but put that there. And see how that line now it just disappeared. Move it up, like move this decal up. You see, you've got the white bit there, move it back down, disappears, because this is not going to go over the wing, this is just for the body. You can see on the top right there, you can see the edge of the square. As I move it down, it goes into the fade, disappears, but you can still see it's got rid of that line, got rid of that white bleed. Okay, and then because at the moment I haven't got the time and can't bother to an extent to do the roof and fade the roof in, I'm just going to paint it black. Now, if those lines are nice and straight, I usually use the gutters as a guide on there. Okay, do that, and then you want to look for this curve like that. You want to look for essentially the giant what's it. Make that black again. So what I'm going to do, make it white so you can see what I'm doing, how to manipulate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it right out so the curve sort of matches the line of the gutter. See? Make that black. You get the other side. See? Lovely. And then you've got a little bit just here that's not covered. Again, I go onto this, duplicate, and then as you go onto this, just rotate it. You over just rotate it a little bit more, just to complete the curve. See, it's not perfect, but it does the job. So when you zoom out, it looks like the roof's all nice and black, and out the way, and then you can put in the server logo if you want, make it nice and straight. Because it is a slightly different colour, you can see it, but it's just offset, so it just sort of blends in. Now, I'm presuming the aerial layer is under other, which is a bit annoying really, that's still white. Oh, they are. I'll make it colour the front, why not? That really is how you make it. You can put your logos in how you want it. I usually put a couple on the back, a couple on the front, and you can put the fade on the back as well. But I didn't on the touring car, and that's essentially it. You know, the wheels should be nice and dark, just to sort of offset and just to sort of blend in, I suppose. But that is essentially how you put the livery on the car. This should be a GR4. It really should be. Great looking car, the Gran Turismo. Anyway, right, that's it. Thanks.